The year was 2001, and early Christmas morning a young me opened up the best gift ever, Pokémon Crystal, along with a Game Boy Advance. Being in the second grade at the time, it's not like I had a lot of responsibilities. Needless to say, I had a lot of time on my hands to play this game, and boy, did I play it. Every single day. It quickly became one of my favorite games. Even to this day, I have fond memories of starting a new game when I woke up and playing it until I passed out, only to do it again whenever I've beaten it. Generation 2 is one of two that I grew up playing, the second being Generation 3. Almost a decade later, Soul Silver and Heart Gold released in the US. I've never played either, or really any remake, which is where you and I find ourselves today. I decided to give Soul Silver a shot, and no, it's not just because my name is in it. It totally is. Like all Pokemon games, we start up with making our character. I choose the boy and name myself. Almost instantly, we're asked to see Professor Elm, who gives us our very first Pokemon. When I was younger, I played files with each of the starters, and honestly, I loved them all. But for this one, we're going with Totodile, which we named Steve. Rest in peace, King. We're given our first quest, to deliver an egg. Professor Elm insists we exchange phone numbers, which kind of feels illegal. I'm like 11. We do some battles along the way, even leveling up in the process. Even at such a low level, it feels so rewarding watching the blue bar go up. After our journey and talking to Professor Oak and Mr. Pokemon, we get a phone call from a panicked Elm, asking us to come back. So, we do. And along the way we realize what happened. This evil Wendy's cosplayer stole a Pokemon, so we battle. Steve just repeatedly slams himself into the enemy over and over again, until it goes down due to head trauma. After getting back to the lab, we talk to the police, and while I'm normally not a narc, I didn't have a choice in the matter. We named the rival Algorithm. Kind of. It's the best we can do with what we got. Elm gives us Steve for good, and urges us to battle all the gym leaders in our quest for global domination. Sounds good to me. We'd have to make the others submit to us one way or another. On our way out, we're taught how to catch some Pokemon. The first of which we get is a Pidgey, which we name Murica. We get a few levels for Murica, mostly looking out for the Kakunas doing their best Professor Elm impression. Afterwards, we pop into the Dark Cave to catch a Geodude, which we aptly named Dwayne. A few more levels down, Dwayne learns Rock Throw, and it's time to deal with the Bellsprout Tower. Gee, I wonder what Pokemon they'll have. Thanks to Murica, it's a complete wash. We get all the way up and grab Flash. Now it's time for our first test. Falkner. One Rock Throw takes the first Pidgey down, and another brings Pidgeotto super low. Oh, don't worry. You'll be flying on to heaven very soon. One more Rock Smash gets us the win, and our first badge. After our victory, we get the egg back, and it's time to move on. Along the way, we catch a Mareep, which we named Peep. We get some more levels and fight a few fishermen, one of which leads me to believe he's probably on someone's worry list. Anyway, after getting through Union Cave, it's time to bully the bullies. Kurt does his best, but it's up to us to finish the job against Team Stinky. They're all jokes, especially the last guy, which is new to me, Proton. But even he wasn't much of a challenge. After helping the Slowbros and Kurt, we finally have access to the Bug Gym. It's time to duel the weirdest kid on the block, Bugsy. And no, I don't want to see your weird collection. Murica puts up a good fight, but it's not enough as Scyther nearly kills her with a quick attack after a focus energy. So it's time to swap her out. Dwayne does her best after getting a little tickle, but a U-turn almost deals just as much. What the is going on? Scyther tags out for Metapod, but 2 Rock Throws takes it down before it can even do anything. Scyther comes back out, so we let Peep take a shot at it. One shot, that is. Well, damn. What do we do now? Maybe Dwayne? That worked out. Kakuna is brought in, so I send Murica out once more. Gus does great damage, and we're lucky to avoid being poisoned. And one more secures the kill. All that's left is the demon itself, Scyther. So far, knowing that Scyther doesn't have anything strong against Steve, I decide to let him have his chance. Luckily for us, Steve is great at chomping, and a critical bite gets us the second badge. Well, that was a nightmare. We heal up and get ready for the next rival fight. Steve goes up against Ghastly and defeats it with one bite. No big deal there. Bayleaf comes out next, so we swap for Murica, This should be pretty easy, right? Our first gust doesn't hit that hard, and it's only going to get worse now after it uses Reflect. Luckily for us, our next one is a crit for massive damage. Wait, what did you just do? Okay, let's try that again. Oh, I see how it's going to be. Poison powder? Are you serious right now? Dude, just die. Another synthesis? Oh, great. Another reflect. Oh, come on. We take some more damage from Razor Leaf, and we have to heal up with a potion. Gust. Razor Leaf. Poison. Gust. Reflect. Poison. Super Potion. Razor Leaf crit? Poison? Gust. Razor Leaf. Poison. Ah. Gust. Yes! No! Are you kidding me? America goes down the Razor Leaf. I send out Peep, believing it can take at least one hit, and, in a way, he did. Luckily, Steve outspeeds, so we take it down with a bite. All that's left is Zubat, but 2 bites takes it down, giving us the win. But at what cost? We make our way through the forest, and while playing Fetch the Fetched, America evolves. Our egg even hatches into Togepi, which I quickly named Diaper. On our way to Goldenrod, Peep evolves, and it's time to work on catching my favorite Pokemon line ever, Abra. I tried to do this for a while, and it got to the point that I just called it for the day. The next day, I kid you not, my first encounter was Abra, and I managed to catch him. Spoons, welcome back to the channel, buddy. Onward to Whitney. I start with Spoons against her Clefairy for the swap XP, and quickly change into Murka. Gus doesn't do that much, but neither did Double Slap. While they're busy wasting turns on Metronome, we're whittling her down with tackles and quick attacks after being hit with Disable. Now, for the dreaded Miltank. Dwayne is up next to tank the hits from Miltank. Rock Throw does laughable damage, but we just keep attacking until Dwayne goes down after getting Miltank to orange health. It's good enough for me. We toss Murica back out, but naturally we're hit with a critical stomp and forced to bring out Steve, our local hero. We don't outspeed, and Bite brings it down a bit, but a Super Potion comes out, forcing us to start all over. Steve is flinched and abused into loving Miltank. It's not looking good for us. I think Steve likes him thick. Stomp leaves us at 6, and I'm forced to heal Steve up if we have any chance of this. We are mobilized a few times, and Steve brings them down low, almost finishing the job at 5 HP before being in love again. Another potion down the drain from the 4 utter menace herself. But one more bite does the trick, giving us the 3rd badge. After that nightmare, we pick up the bottle, catch Sudowoodo, evolve Spoons, and make it to Ekrutique City. Jesus. I save Milady from a Team Stinky Bozo, and we get Surf. We quickly teach it to Steve and make our way into the Burn Tower. It's time to grind a little bit, which is exactly what I do for a while. We get everyone to around 25, and before we have our first encounter with Suicune, it's time for another rival fight. Ghastly's up against Steve again, and one bite cleans the floor. Murica has her rematch with Bayleaf, and I'm not gonna let it go down like the last time. 2 gusts bring it super low, and luckily for us it misses the poison powder. One more, and we got this. Another missed powder. Thank you. Leave us alone, you annoying walking vegetable. Dwayne, who evolved in the grind, comes out for Magnemite. Magnitude 6 makes this an easy fight, and Peep comes out to one-shot Zubat, making this the easiest major encounter so far. I remember our rival being more difficult, but maybe that was because I was a dumb kid, and now I'm a dumb adult, which is marginally better. The legendaries hop around before skipping town, which means it's time for Morty. Ghastly dies to Shadow Claw, but not before we're hit by Curse, and it's on the Gengar. We heal up to survive a Shadow Ball, which brings us right back to where we started, and Curse hits us again, putting Steve in the red. We try healing again, but another Shadow Ball and Curse brings us down. I send Spoons out to die so we can revive Steve. Thank you for your sacrifice, Spoons. You'll be missed. Diaper is our next sacrifice so that we can heal Steve. Another sacrifice I was willing to make. I bring Peep out for the Paralyze, and he does good damage with 3 Thunder Shocks before being taken down by Shadow Ball. Steve comes back out to finish the job with a Shadow Claw, doing the same against Haunter 1 and 2. After the fight, Steve reached his final form. Alright, 4 badges down, 4 more to go. After making it to Olivine, we're told by algorithm that Jasmine, the next gym leader, isn't here, so we have to make our way to the lighthouse. After fighting our way to the top, we meet her and she tells us that the Ampharos is sick, and it needs medicine. Another quest. Fear not, Jasmine. It's a quest I have to undertake by the will of the video. Off to Cyanwood, where we run into Suicune again, as well as Yucine, Suicune's #1 simp. He doesn't understand why Suicune Senpai won't notice him, so he fights us to see what's up. Little does he know the only thing he's about to catch is a fade. After his loss, we pick up the medicine for Jasmine and challenge the fighting gym leader, Chuck. He starts out with Primeape against Spoons. One Psycho Cut brings him down low, but a Hyper Potion brings him back up all the way only for him to die to Psybeam. Next is Poliwrath, and Spoons is a pro at this point. Another Psybeam is all it takes. Well, maybe 2. That was easy. Another badge down. We learn Fly afterwards and make our way back to Jasmine with the medicine so we can battle her. I was a little worried about the Steel Gym, considering we don't have an amazing answer for it. But let's see how it goes. She starts off with Magnemite against Dwayne, and an Earthquake makes quick work. Steelix, the one I was really worried about. Earthquake doesn't do much, so we try Dig. It also doesn't do much. I was worried about this. Iron Tail does more than half, so we swap out to Steve, who is apparently in charge. Surf does great damage, and it's enough to bring down the big worm. Another Magnemite goes down to Dwayne and her ability to drop it low. Badge number 6 acquired. Dwayne even evolved. Trade evolutions are off, by the way. Don't worry about it. We make our way to Mahogany Town to handle the Red Gyarados, which we catch and name Dragon Roll. Murica hits her final form in the process as well. Lance, the local edgelord, asks us to help him deal with Team Stinky. Along the way, we have to listen to our rival complain about life, like a teenager who just discovered black skinny jeans and has way too much time devoted to their journal. Here's another thing. Petrol and Ariana. Neither of them put up much of a fight, which isn't surprising considering Team Stinky has never been known to be a challenge in the game. Even the original, rather just an annoyance. Petrol looks like he's doing his best to copy that one guy from Hunger Games. Either way, with them handled and the problem solved, the Ice Gym finally opens up. I wasn't too worried about Price and his Ice team, and I was right. By this point we're so overleveled that Peep was able to one-shot Seal, and Piloswine was turned into a meal by Steve with only 2 Surfs. He only has Dugong left, and again Peep stole the show, needing only a Charge Beam and Discharge. Relax, Price, you might break a hip there, buddy. Oh boy, another Team Stinky situation at the radio tower. Eventually, we make our way through to Petrol again, and, like before, there's nothing special. Spoons, who I don't remember when he evolved into Alakazam, was able to chip away one Psybeam at a time, until it was over. We run into our rival, again, but we're prepared for him this time. So much, in fact, that this was one of the easiest fights we've had. Golbat dies to Ice Fang and Cut. Meganium goes down to a few flies even after using Synthesis a few times. It was more stalling than battling. Magnemite, like all before him, dies to Earthquakes. Sneasel is new, and I couldn't tell if it would be a problem at first. But one Rock Throw proves that they weren't. Haunter is easy for Steve, and I accidentally use Ice Fang, but it doesn't matter because it cursed itself to death. I thought I was the idiot here. We get the keycard and make our way through Proton, Ariana, and eventually Archer. Another new face. If I'm not mistaken, it was Giovanni who was behind it in Crystal, but I guess he retired or something? Who knows. Either way, these were simple encounters considering we're almost twice their level and we have Spoons. Just goes to show that anything with a semblance of intelligence has no issue beating Team Stinky. With them out of the way, we make our way through the ice caves, and we make sure to grab the Never Melt Ice. Now it's into the Dragon Gym to battle Claire. She starts off with Gyarados, so we swap into Peep from Steve. We take some damage and survive at 10 from a few Dragon Rages, but 2 Thunder Shocks is all we need. Dragonair is next, and Steve's Ice Fang with the ice makes this easy. Another Dragonair, another Ice Fang. Kingdra was the only issue we had in this fight. Murica has a go first. Twister doesn't do a lot, but it's okay. I use this chance to push out some feather dances. Hydro Pump does 100 damage, and Dragon Rage finishes us off. Peep joins the battle, and I was lucky to have the Hydro Pump miss. And Charge Beam does decent damage. I was hoping for the Paralyze, but Steve has to come back out. And Crunch hurts Kingdra pretty bad, same with Dragon Rage against us. Another Crunch is all it takes for us to get our 8th and final badge. But before we can get it, we have to prove our worth in the Dragon Den. Let's do this. At the bottom, we talk with the old man Jenkins and answer a few questions about whether or not we love Pokemon. And at the end of it, we're given the final badge, and we get a call from our local creep who wants to see us again. So we rush on over to New Bark and talk to him. He gives us the Master Ball and tells us the Kimono Girls were looking to challenge us. It's weird having this part be at the end of the game, rather than when you get into that one city. Not sure why they changed it, but it's not that big of a deal. The same girls we protected not that long ago are our new opponents, and honestly it wasn't that bad. We're at least 10 levels higher than any of them, and we have types that beat all of them. Surfs for Umbreon, Crunch for Espeon, more Surfs for Flareon, Earthquake for Jolteon. I said Earthquake for Jolteon. I said Earthquake for what the hell? Thank you. A few Thundershocks for Vaporeon even when Surf hurts us back. For a lot. And it must have been a speed tie, as we randomly go second, so we have to switch into Murica while it's low. Wing Attack is good enough though. With that done, we get the Tidal Bell, and we're told to go to the Whirl Islands to find Lugia, which is exactly what we needed the Silver Wing for. So, let's go do that. Getting through Whirl Islands was pretty easy, and since we have the Master Ball, I just decided to use that against Lugia. With a Legendary in our pocket, it's a time to go challenge the Elite Four. We get vibe checked at the door before making our way into Victory Road, where I take some time to do a little bit of grinding before we fight our rival for the final time. Sneasel dies to Signal Beam, I'm not sure why Ampharos learns a bug move. Golbat dies to Psychic, Haunter to Crunch, and oh boy, Meganium. I can't wait. Luigi has a go at it. Aeroblast does some work though. It's a one-shot. Thank goodness, I couldn't handle more photosynthesis. Dwayne takes on Magneton with Earthquake, another one-shot. Kadabra is last, who just takes another single Crunch. Easy. Our rival literally got easier and easier with each battle. I'm curious to know how the Elite Four is gonna go, so I wrap up some final grind and we go give it a shot. Up first is Will. He starts off with Xatu, who gave me more trouble than I thought. Rock Throw did a bit, but he has U-turns, so swapping out to Peep is our best bet. Naturally, Water Pulse confuses and Peep hit itself, but one discharge is needed. And it's back to Xatu. Peep stays out and Discharge finishes it off. Next is Jinx. It's the one team member I was worried about, but thanks to Steve, one Crunch brings it down. Executor wants to have a go at Luigi. Aeroblast takes it down pretty quickly. This might be easier than I thought it was going to be. Another Xatu, eh? Alright, let's go, Dwayne. Psychic hurts, but so does Rock Throw. I decide to swap back to Peep and Discharge gets us the first win. Koga time. He and Lance are my biggest worries here, so let's see how we do. Ariados and Spoons are in the ring to start. Psychic one-shots. And up next is Fortress. So, Spoons tags out so Dwayne can come in and try to Earthquake. It only tickles, and Protect makes it worse. We keep trying, and eventually it goes down, but not after putting poison spikes and exploding at like 1 HP. Venomoth comes out, but so does Spoons. Naturally we're poisoned, but it doesn't really matter as Psychic brings it down. Same with Muck and Crobat, putting us halfway through the Elite Four. Bruno is up next, and while I could have probably swept with Spoons, I wanted to get some extra XP to Murica, so she starts us off. Fly does good damage against Hitmontop and protects us from counter. We plan for the same thing against Hitmonchan, who has Thunder Punch and Ice Punch. Another Fly almost beats him, but we're looking rough. Bruno full restores and Wing Attack brings him low again. One more brings him down. Murica is low, and Onix is next, so we swap to Luigi and Hydro Pump. We missed the first one, but the second one does the trick. Machamp comes out, but Luigi stays in. 2 Aeroblast brings it down, and against Hitmonlee we do the same thing, needing only 1 Aeroblast to put us 1 step closer. The final step towards Lance is Karen, and no, I'm not going to make a joke about it. Umbreon starts, and Pete brings it low with Signal Beam, and a second means Gengar comes out. We swap to Steve for Crunch, and it's one and done. Vileplume goes up against Spoons for an easy 1 Psychic fight. Murkrow faces off with Peep, 1 Discharge to take it down, and lastly Houndoom. Luigi takes a chance with Hydro Pump, and it was almost enough. We missed the second, but the third puts us on top. Now with Karen out of the way, it's time for the head honcho himself, the vampire wannabe, Lance. Gyarados is up first with Peep. We hit with 2 discharges to win, but take some damage from Waterfall. Steve faces off with Dragonite. Our first Ice Fang misses, but the second one with the Never Melt Ice is a win. Same with the next Dragonite. Man, this item is so good for Steve. I'm glad we got it. It makes this fight a lot easier. A third Dragonite wants to try, but he meets the same fate by Steve's fangs. Aerodactyl might be a problem, but I believe in Steve. We take some damage and try Ice Fang, and would you look at that? Last is Charizard. Surf should do it. Not quite. Full Restore? Okay. Another Surf. What's that? Another Full Restore? Okay. Surf. Not a crit. Alright. Oh, another one? I'm having flashbacks. Surf. Nope, don't you do it. Oh, dude, what the hell? Surf. Thank you. I couldn't handle that again. Well, well, well. Would you look at that? We actually did it. I'm not really surprised, but I kind of am. I haven't played this generation or really any Pokemon game to this degree in almost 2 decades. I really like this one. It was fun to go down memory lane a little, even if there were some things that were different and not in a bad way. I had just as much fun playing the remake of my favorite generation as I did playing the original, and while I knew a lot about it, it still felt fresh to me. Honestly, that's a win in my book. I can't wait to work on the Sapphire and Ruby ones, if that's something you'd like to see. Thanks so much for watching up to this point. These kinds of videos take a lot of time to do on my end, so I appreciate the support and patience in the community. Leave a comment down below if there's another game you'd like to see me play through, old or new. I've been thinking about some of the Dragon Quest games if that's something you might think is interesting. Until next time, I hope you all have a fantastic day, afternoon, evening, or night. Whatever it is for you. And I'll see you all again very, very soon, alright?